The Great Trouble Author's Note, Part 2. It was Dr. Snow's fervent hope that, quote, "the time will arrive when great outbreaks of cholera will be things of the past," end quote. While this is true in many parts of the world, there are still tens of thousands of deaths from cholera every year. According to a 2012 fact sheet on cholera from the World Health Organization, there are an estimated 3 million to 5 million cases and 100,000 to 120,000 deaths every year. Cholera struck in Haiti following the devastating earthquake of January 12, 2010. The disease had not been seen in Haiti in more than 50 years, but the conditions following the earthquake resulted in water contamination. As of 2012, there were more than 500,000 cases of cholera and 7,000 deaths from it since the earthquake. The primary treatment for cholera today is relatively simple: reversing dehydration with an oral rehydration solution. Sometimes patients require IV fluids. Some residents of the Golden Square were able to survive the Blue Death by drinking lots of clean water. Epidemiology and public health. Dr. John Snow is often called the father of epidemiology, the study of how and why diseases spread. The United States Department of Labor describes the work of these scientists this way: epidemiologists investigate the causes of disease and other public health problems to prevent them from spreading or from happening again. They report their findings to public policy officials and to the general public. Dr. John Snow's words. I have invented most of the dialogue for both the fictional and the historical figures in The Great Trouble, but I could not resist including Dr. John Snow's own words, as quoted by Henry Whitehead. "You and I," he would say to me, "may not live to see the day, and my name may be forgotten when it comes, but the time will arrive when great outbreaks of cholera will be things of the past, and it is the knowledge of the way in which the disease is propagated which will cause them to disappear." Timeline of the Broad Street cholera epidemic. 1854. Monday, August 28. 5-year-old Fanny Lewis, daughter of Sarah and Thomas Lewis of 40 Broad Street, falls ill with diarrhea and vomiting. Thursday, August 31st. Mr. G., a tailor who also lives at 40 Broad Street, along with 19 or 20 other people, falls ill. 29-year-old Henry Whitehead, assistant curate at St. Luke's Church, is called out to several homes where people have been struck. Friday, September 1st. Mr. G. dies of cholera. A yellow flag is placed on Berwick Street as a warning, and carts begin removing bodies. Saturday, September 2nd. Baby Francis Lewis dies on Broad Street. Several miles away in Hampstead, Susanna Ely, a 59-year-old widow who has been drinking the Broad Street water delivered by her sons, dies after a 16-hour illness. At Middlesex Hospital, the nurse, Florence Nightingale, began seeing patients brought in every half hour from Broad Street and elsewhere in the Soho district. Sunday, September 3rd. Dr. John Snow, who lives a half-mile away on Sackville Street, hears about the cholera epidemic. He goes to inspect the popular Broad Street pump and takes water samples for inspection. Monday, September 4th. Mrs. G., the widow of the tailor, falls ill with cholera. Dr. Snow returns to Broad Street and begins asking questions of the residents. Tuesday, September 5th. Mrs. G. dies in the morning. Dr. Snow goes to the General Register office in Somerset House to ask William Farr for records of recent deaths. Thursday, September 7th. Dr. Snow appears before an emergency committee of the Board of Governors of St. James Parish and convinces them to remove the handle of the Broad Street pump. Friday, September 8th. The pump handle is removed. Thomas Lewis, father of Francis Lewis, develops symptoms of cholera. Tuesday, September 19th. Thomas Lewis dies. Thursday, November 23rd. St. James Parish forms an inquiry committee to look further into the cholera epidemic, which killed 616 people. Dr. Snow and Reverend Whitehead are invited to join. Monday, November 27th. An inspection of the Broad Street well is conducted, but no holes are found. Monday, December 4. Dr. Snow presents his cholera map at a meeting of the Epidemiological Society of London. That's a mouthful. Tuesday, December 19th. The Gazette Medica Italiana contains an article by researcher Filippo Pacini, who reports microscopic findings from post-mortem exams of cholera patients. His research will not become widely known until after his death. 1855. Saturday, January 27th. The London publisher J. Churchill releases an expanded version of On the Mode of Communication of Cholera, a monograph by Dr. John Snow. Dr. Snow gives a copy to Reverend Whitehead, who is continuing to conduct interviews with Broad Street residents for his own report. Tuesday, March 27. While investigating death records in the General Register office, Reverend Whitehead is drawn to the following entry. At 40 Broad Street, 2nd September, a daughter, aged 5 months, exhaustion after an attack of diarrhea 4 days previous to death. Reverend Whitehead finds that Mrs. Lewis emptied diapers into the cesspool, and he suspects this may be the index case and the cause of the well's contamination. Monday, April 23rd. A surveyor, Jehoshaphat York, excavates the cesspool at 40 Broad Street and the surrounding area. Tuesday, May 1st. York presents his report showing that sewage was backing up in a drain and the cesspool's bricks were decaying. Sewage from the cesspool had been seeping into the Broad Street well, less than 3 feet away. Wednesday, July 25th. The St. James Cholera Inquiry Committee completes its work, which includes reports from York, Dr. Snow, and Reverend Whitehead. The committee concludes that the cholera outbreak, quote, was in some manner attributable to the use of the impure water of the well in Broad Street, end quote. Wednesday, September 26th. Based on a petition from residents, a decision is made to reopen the Broad Street pump. Check out the Read More section so you can learn more.